Alright, so here we are. The new patch is out. Well, they've released the new patch. It's not out yet. I guess it'll be out in a couple hours. And as we were all hopefully anticipating, a wizard nerf. Well, if you have not read them, I'm here to burst your bubble. There's not a fucking thing about wizard in this entire patch. Not even a mention of wizard. Not even a tiny little word talking about, hey, we know wizard's OP. We'll fix it. Nothing. In this entire patch, they didn't speak of wizard, they didn't speak of cleric, ranger, +3 all on stats, nada. However, does that mean all hope is lost? No, no, it does not. Because as we know, Iron Mace loves to apply things to the game that they don't put in these patch notes. I don't know why, but they do. So there is a chance that when we get on, things will be nerfed. However, do I expect them to feel much better or to feel nerfed? Or it overall really matter? Probably not. Because I would really expect them to say it if they were going to hit a big nerf to Wizard. However, they have not said anything. But anyways, I will go over the patch nonetheless, even though I am depressed because Wizard's not nerfed. Ruins, the map is now a duo map, so solos and duos can play on it. I mean, excuse me. I think duos is cool. I don't like that Ruins is a duo map. I think it should have been Goblin Caves. Sorry. I think because Ruins, when they released it, they said, hey, this is going to be the first floor to the Crypts. So Crypts was going to be a 3-floor dungeon. It was going to, Low Roller Crypts was going to be the Ruins, and then the first floor, and then Inferno was going to be on the, only on High Rollers. I still wish they would have added Ruins back into Crypts. I don't think having it as a standalone map makes any sense. It's kind of just there. You can't go down. You know, you just do what you do. It's pointless. It kind of serves the same purpose as Goblin Caves with just as a teams version, but I think that's dumb. So, I mean, I love the ruins. I love the map. I just wish it was added in. And I mean, having a duo map's cool. It's just, it splits the player base more. Like now there's 5 potential queues open. There's low roller caves, high roller caves, ruins, low roller crypts, high roller crypts. And assuming people are now going to complain they want a high roller ruins, we're going to have potentially 6 queues available if they do that. And then the weapon damage gap between the different grades has been reduced. This is good. Basically, what this means is, like, well, I assume that the lower end weapons have their damage raised a bit, the higher end weapons have their damage lowered a bit, and the middle kind of stays the same, so they bring the damage closer together. Slight damage reduction to slow, short sword, rapier, horseman's axe, falchion, and crossbow. I don't understand why short sword's in here. No one's even using short sword. I mean, kind of weird that they added that in. I mean, stiletto, rapier, horseman's axe all make sense. Falchion, I don't think needed it. And crossbow, that's kind of annoying because that's pretty much a wizard buff because fighters' best way of dealing with wizards was a crossbow, and now you're likely to less likely chance to kill them with it. You're going to be doing less damage to them, so it's another wizard buff indirectly. Slight damage increase to Zweihander, wizard staff, halberd, felling axe, and bardiche. Once again, the Zwei and the wizard staff make sense. The other 3 are kind of stupid. I mean, unless they want it to literally be that you get to them, and if you hit them one time, you are going to kill them. If it's anyone that's not a tank, then sure. But I don't think that's a very fun way to play the game. Like, this is kind of like it's like a weird way to buff it. It's like, yeah, this weapon's bad, but if it hits you once, it kills you. So like, we're not gonna nerf anything. We're not gonna buff anything that makes the weapon bad. We're just gonna make it incredibly strong. For like, we're the one thing it's already good at. We're just gonna make it so good that it's actually maybe usable. So halberd, felling axe, and bardiche, if they headshot you, are likely all gonna one-shot you now. Large damage increase to Viking sword and Chris dagger. Viking sword definitely needed it. It has like the damage of an arming sword with the speed of a falchion, which is horrible. Now, depending on how big this damage increase is, it actually could be a viable weapon in replace of the falchion, because it basically, like I said, it has like the arming sword. It has like the arming sword moveset with the falchion, hopefully with the falchion's damage now. So it actually could be a very good option. And the Chris dagger, I don't know. I'm not a rogue player. I don't know. I know they don't use this. I'm assuming they don't like the movesets. I mean, it depends on how big the damage increase is to Chris, on how good it is. Higher quality lanterns have lower move speed penalty. Doesn't really matter. Like, cool, I guess. That's not going to affect most people. And then they super buff caltrops. The cooldown is reduced from 24 to 12. The slow duration is decreased from 2 to 3. And the ability count reduced from 6 to 4. I don't actually know what the ability count reduced from 6 to 4 means. Maybe that's like how many caltrops you throw out or something. I don't actually know. I've never used his ability. No one ever uses his ability. Maybe it'll be good now. Maybe it'll just be like annoying. The Ruins final triple blue portals would change to 2 single blue portals because because it's duos now. It's in not trios, obviously. 1 blue portal at normal Goblin Cave near the end has been removed. They said they wanted to do this to help teamers. I think overall it's just going to make Goblin Caves feel much worse, or to hurt teamers. I think overall it's going to make Goblin Caves feel worse because if like you're teaming from the start and you're like running around killing everybody, you shouldn't have an issue with portals anyways. The only person that this is going to hurt is people that actually play the game, like a solo that plays the game and they end up killing everybody and they can't find a portal at the end. Fix the issue where the buckler cannot benefit from the perks related to fighter shield. Doesn't matter. Fighters never use buckler. Fix an issue that could cause too much damage to be calculated at once. I assume this is the damage hack fix they referred to. I don't actually know. I mean, because they don't say anything else in here about the hacks. But I'm assuming this is the damage hack. And that's like how that's like how the damage hack worked, was it was calculating multiple hits at once. It just and like to enough that it would one shot you. So maybe, I mean, that's cool, I guess. I don't actually know what that I don't actually know. I'm assuming. Fix server known crashes, it's always good. As an experiment, we have removed the entrance fee for the high roller dungeons. Well, high rollers are gonna fill up now. That's no doubt about that. Every high roller lobby is going to be full almost instantly. There is going to be nothing stopping that. Is it going to be full of like 15 naked rogues? Probably. Yeah, probably. You're just going to have 15 rogues stealing from you the entire game if you're not a rogue. Or they're just going to be running around looting and taking blues as soon as possible. So this is going to make it a lot easier for most teams to do bosses because you're not going to have anyone contesting you. It's just going to be a bunch of rogues looting the first floor and leaving. Or, I mean, hell, they might go down to Inferno and try to steal from you there too. Who knows? But I mean, overall, this is an interesting change. I think it's like it's like putting a band-aid on like a missing limb. It's really like not helping much. It's like you are very artificially increasing the how many people are in high rollers by doing this. Like, this is not gonna make high rollers fill up by the good teams. It's just gonna make a ton of like the reason people with gear weren't going in high rollers was not because the 50 gold fee to go in. It was because they're scared of losing their gear and it's just not worth it. Because all you can get high rollers over normals is unique items, and most of these players have never even doing bosses anyways. Or if they are, they're not doing high roller bosses. They're just doing low roller ones. And it's just so you know, it's this overall, like I said, it's going to fill up your lobbies, but it's mostly just going to be rogues running around, so it's not really going to feel much different. You're just going to see a lot more rogues. And the trading post and high roller features are locked behind a 120-hour gate for accounts less than 5 days old. So this is, they said, to help deal with cheaters. I assume to try to catch cheaters before they ever get into high rollers and like really mess with people's good gear, and before they sell stuff on the market, before they can RMT on the market. Because now you have to make an account and then wait 5 days before you can go on the trading post. So you can't just like buy gear, or you can't just like go in, get gear, and then immediately go to the trading post and sell it to someone. Actually takes time. And then down here they have like their notes with it. They just say like Ruins was like, it was a top suggestion to make it duos. I don't really care. And then I mean, like, this is like whatever. Like I'm fine with Ruins being duos. I don't think it should have happened, but it's whatever. Let's see. Oh god, excuse me. Alright. Ross experiment removing the interest for your Harley dungeons. It's going into these dungeons at already high risk without the added cost. This literally doesn't matter. 50 gold is like nothing to most players that are willing to go into high rollers does not care about 50 gold. That is, like I said, that's not why they're doing it. It's because they're scared of losing all their really good gear that is worth a significant amount over 50 gold. And then we've also started our first pass on reducing some of the gear gap between items because this issue has been basically unaddressed since Alpha Playtest 4, whereas weapons could previously more than double their damage going from junk to unique quality. We've compressed the damage range of most weapons, now maxed around 60-70% damage improvement from the lowest to highest quality. I mean, like I said, this is only good if on the most part they lowered the damage of high-end weapons. This is only good then. If they just lowered the damage of bad weapons, this doesn't really help. This is just more issue. This just means people have access to more damage faster, so you just die faster at all points of the game, which is not ideal. You want them to lower the damage at the high end, not raise it at the low end. We use the uncommon rare grades as the pivot points for the rebalance, the greater emphasis on the low end, so junk port. Okay, yeah, okay, well, yeah. So it's like, So these items do slightly more, and these items over here do slightly less. I mean, personally, I would have preferred the high end just do less overall, and the low end pretty much like being like mostly staying the same. I mean, it could be. You never know. And this right here is they said just the thing about cheaters, and then this is where they talk about teaming at Goblin Caves. Since although we want to encourage enough freedom for spontaneous player interactions and emergent behavior, we also concern that excessive and pre-planned teaming can quickly degrade the experience for the player base. And basically say before we get to banning teaming outright, we're gonna try to like make people like not do it through like in-game mechanics. So like having less portals, more content, more reason to fight over it, etc., etc. Because they've already like obviously with VoIP, they've always wanted people to like talk and like potentially be cool, like help each other in a dungeon, that type of thing. However, the issue becomes when you have people that are literally sitting in a Discord call together or whatever, and they're like, okay, I'm queuing Goblin Caves High Roller now, and they just queue up together and they get the same game, and then from the first 30 seconds it takes them to find each other, they just run around as a duo and kill everybody in the caves and loot everything together. So that's why they want to do it. They don't want to have to ban that because the problem with them ever getting to the point where they have to ban teaming is it makes it impossible to like know who's like who just queued up and like happened to get in the same game and like voiped and like we're cool with each other, or who like queued up together with the intention of teaming in the game. It's really hard for them to tell it's going to do that. It's a very slippery slope. It would make the game feel much worse because then you can't have like cool interactions with people. You can't be passive with people. You'd pretty much have to fight everybody, or you're gonna risk getting banned for teaming. People see you together, not fighting. But overall, this patch is awful. I'm just gonna say it. There are some cool things in this patch. Mostly, I don't care about any of it. Like a lot of this is like the damage. The best part is the damage. The damage stuff's pretty cool. Like this is pretty cool. I think some of these weapons didn't need damage increases, and some of these didn't need damage reductions. Like short sword and crossbow is probably kind of high. Problem is, my problem with this being lowered is it's not. I mean, it's like I said, it's like the best counter for wizards that half the classes have available that aren't ranger. Like longbow is not that good because it doesn't have the as high per damage point. I mean, hell, maybe it will now, depending on how much they nerfed crossbow. Short sword didn't need to be touched. No one used it anyways. Rapier, stiletto, horseman's, and falchion. I'm all fine with that. I don't think falchion needed a nerf anymore. Falchion just got nerfed. At this point, there's no reason to use falchion anymore. I'm almost positive arming sword will always be better. The Viking sword might be a good replacement for it. But the rest of this, Caltrops, completely irrelevant. The ruins being duos, cool. Blue Portal and Goblin Caves hurts the map overall, I think. And then, damage hack fix is cool. Crashing fix is cool. But we didn't get a wizard nerf, didn't get a cleric nerf, didn't get a ranger nerf, didn't get a +3 all mention. They didn't even say as much as like, hey, we're working on it. They basically just said, hey, we hate you, fighter players. Deal with it. So, yeah, I don't know. This patch is definitely going to feel rather interesting, I'd say. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below, and I will try my best to reply to them. So peace.